So, in honor of the film Deliver Us to Nowhere, the Bruce Springsteen movie featuring Jeremy Allen White as Springsteen, I have my top 5 favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. It's an unconventional list, and it's usually a list that most people probably wouldn't put together, but it's my list. So I apologize early on. Let me do honorable mention. Now, honorable mention, I could have had Glory Days, Badlands. They're all great songs. I am putting Born to Run. Now, Born to Run is usually number 1 or 2 on most people Springsteen's list, but I have other songs I want to talk about. Born to Run is a fantastic song. He released that album, Born to Run, in 1975. He was 25 years old at the time. He's 76 now. I can't imagine making an album like that at 25. And there's a through line with him, Michael Jackson, and Prince. Prince made 1999 when he was 24. Michael made Thriller at 24. I can't imagine all three of these guys making like some of their signature work at 24 or 25 years old. There's a lot of great artists today, really, really talented artists, but the artistry of Prince, Michael, and Bruce at that age is just ridiculous. And Bruce is just an amazing performer and amazing songwriter. And I didn't catch on to Bruce till later, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, Born to Run, youthful exuberance, powerful vocal, talking about leaving your small town and seeing life and seeing the world, man. And the thing is, like, again, at 76, he has to sing that song. If he's doing E Street Band stuff, he has to sing that song every time. I don't know how many times he sang Born to Run, but he sings with the same ferocity and youthfulness that he had when he was 25. It's an amazing track. So Born to Run is my honorable mention. Number 5, Merry Christmas Baby. He made it in 1980. It was in concert, and then I think it was on the very Merry Christmas albums in the 80s or something like that. It's a blues song. It's an R&B song. One of the geniuses of Bruce, and a lot of those guys that came through that time period of the 60s going into the 70s, if you listen to a lot of 70s rock singers, even pop singers, there's a soulfulness to them. And Springsteen was very much influenced by Elvis, the Beatles, and Bob Dylan, but also Stax, Motown, James Brown. And James Brown's going to be another influence later when we might get to that later. But you hear a grit in his voice. You hear it in Steven Tyler's voice. You hear it in Daryl Hall's voice. There's a lot of rock acts, pop rock acts, who had a soulful side to them because, yes, you're getting the Beatles and the Stones and all that stuff and the Kinks, but then you're also getting James Brown and Ray Charles and Marvin Gaye and the Stax guys, Sam and Dave. And you hear that in Merry Christmas Baby. Remake, featured the originals, the best versions probably featured Charles Brown. But when you hear Bruce's vocal, it's basically his best R&B song. Merry Christmas, baby. I love that song so much. And Jennifer Lawrence, she was just on with Graham Norton with Bruce, and she was saying like her favorite song that she was listening to of Bruce's was Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is also very bluesy, very R&B, but Merry Christmas, baby. There's nothing better than that one. Nothing better than that one. Number 4, Fire, the Pointer Sisters. Written by Bruce Springsteen. Originally, Elvis Presley, right before his death, was looking for songs, and Bruce had a bunch of songs because he loved Elvis, and I guess he submitted them to Elvis, and Elvis was like, "No, I don't like these songs too much." And Elvis didn't take any of these songs. It's always like the Neptunes. They gave all these songs to Michael Jackson, and he didn't do them, and they gave them to Justin Timberlake for Justified. So it's almost the same thing. Fire is such a great song, done by the Pointer Sisters. It's interesting, the Pointer Sisters. They both did songs by Bruce and Prince. They did I Feel For You. They were the first group to do I Feel For You by Prince. And then Rebe Jackson did I Feel For You. And then after that was when Shaka Khan did I Feel For You. But their version, the Pointer Sisters version, I Feel For You, didn't chart. I think it was just an album cut. Fire was a huge song. Huge song. They didn't realize Bruce Springsteen wrote this, but Bruce has a very soulful voice and a very soulful vocal. He grew up around R&B. So you can take any of his songs and turn it bluesy and R&B-ish. So shout out to the Pointer Sisters. We don't talk about them enough. I wonder if they ever performed that with Bruce. I'm sure they did. I'm sure. Yeah, shout out to them, man. I love the Pointer Sisters. Shout out to them. But I do wonder if they ever performed with Bruce. Performed a Fire with Bruce Springsteen. I don't know. Number 3, The Ghost of Tom Joad. the Rage Against the Machine version. Once again, written by Bruce Springsteen. His version is very acoustic. His version of the Ghost of Tom Joad is very acoustic. It's almost like Bob Dylan meets Johnny Cash. It feels like you're in a campfire, listening to someone strumming a guitar, telling a story. Bruce's inspiration was that song was Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. And Woody Guthrie made a song about Tom Joad as well. And Bruce just kind of merged those two things, and then we get the Ghost of Tom Joad. I think it was called The Legend of Tom Joad with the Woody Guthrie track. So Bruce put those things together and made the Ghost of Tom Joad. And then Rage Against the Machine, like one of my favorite bands ever, took that heartfelt, just campfire, Johnny Cash acoustic tune and just kicked the hell out of it. I miss Rage so much. In these days and times, in these politics, we need a Rage Against the Machine. Oh, where are you, Zach De La Roche? Oh my God. I love Rage so much because it's basically every song was like Public Enemy meets Led Zeppelin. The groove, Tom Morello's guitar work on that, just everything about that was full Led Zeppelin. And Zach De La Roche, man, you just listening to him. It's like at the end of the song, man, it's like, yeah, let's go get him. The Ghost of Tom Joad. Oh, I love that song so much. I think Bruce then, he started collaborating with Tom Morello after a while too. Like, Rage busted up and turned into the Audio Machine with Chris Cornell. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. And then Bruce, collaborated with Tom Morello because he loved that version of the Ghost of Tom Joad so much because it was so different from his. But it was so much energy and power. So yeah, I got that at number 3. Number 2, Rosalita. Not so much the song. It's a really good song. It's the performance. Back in the day when VH1, before they went full reality TV, they used to play music videos. Yeah, perish the thought, huh? And I missed the countdown. I wish they still had the countdown on. They used to show videos like all the time at VH1. And one of the videos they used to show all the time was Bruce Springsteen's Rosalita. Now, this is young Springsteen. And I didn't get into Bruce until the Born in U.S.A. album. I was an MTV kid. So I didn't get into Bruce until then. So from that, they started showing on VH1, which is like the older version of MTV at the time. They were showing Rosalita. So you get the young Springsteen, the floppy-haired, skinny, post-beard, because the early Springsteen, Greetings from Asbury Park, that was the bearded Nick Cap Springsteen. I like that Springsteen look. But this is like the later 70s Springsteen. Wild man on stage. It kind of reminded me of how young Eddie Vedder was, even though Eddie was even more fearless, like jumping all over the place, climbing and jumping. Like young Springsteen, he was just he was like a Tasmanian devil with his guitar on stage. And even though Born to Run is the premier Springsteen performance and song, some would argue that Rosalita is right up there as far as performance. It's hard to describe. If you never watched Bruce Springsteen perform, he is very much like Prince and Michael, where he gives you everything he has and more. Prince would perform a full concert and then go to a club and play again. Michael Jackson would just sing and dance like Fred Astaire and James Brown and pop locking and all that stuff. It's almost like, how does he move that body that way and still had this angelic voice? Bruce, the way he performed, the way he sang, he would go for hours upon hours upon hours. The through line, when you look at Prince is like James Brown meets Sly Stone. Michael Jackson is like James Brown meets Sammy Davis meets Fred Astaire. Bruce is like James Brown meets Elvis meets Bob Dylan. Like James Brown is a consistent through line with all those guys. And James Brown had this thing where he does like, please, 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 please. And the guy would come out and put on the cape and he's walking off and he busted out. That's how Bruce is. You're at a Bruce Springsteen concert. It doesn't matter when he's 25 or 76. You're at a Bruce Springsteen concert. And he's performing for 2 hours. It's like, man, what a show. And he gives you another half an hour. And another half an hour. This guy would give you 3-hour concerts every night till exhaustion. Till exhaustion. And he wasn't a big guy then. The Born in U.S.A., Bruce Springsteen was swole. He was all jacked. Not the skinny Bruce Springsteen. You would think that he would have collapsed because he was not a big guy. And the thing about Rosalita that was great is just his relationship with Clarence Clemons. I miss Clarence Clemons. I think his nephew now is the saxophonist for the E Street Band, but the relationship between Clarence and Bruce is just amazing. It's like one of the best bromances in music. Their partnership is up there with Lennon and McCarthy and Jaggers and Richards. Not about writing, because Bruce wrote everything. It's just their relationship on stage. I've never seen a synergy between a guitarist and a saxophonist. Like, it's amazing. And I always liked the early Clarence Clemons because he looked like a pimp. He was like, why is that pimp playing the saxophone? But Rosalita, man, just the way Bruce played off of Clarence is amazing. And then towards the end of the video, Bruce is on the ground, all these women come up and starts kissing him, and he goes back and says, whoa! That's another thing too. I never understood how Bruce Springsteen has this almost like Midwest, Texas, Oklahoma voice. He's from Jersey. He kind of talks like this, and we used to bale hay in the streets of Jersey. I don't know how that accent pops up. He's from Jersey. Fantastic. Okay, number one, Born in the U.S.A. One of the most misunderstood songs ever. Bruce is an interesting guy because he's from Jersey, and the bunch of his fan base that says Bruce all the time. They're from Jersey, New York, probably Long Island, probably pro-police, probably conservative, a lot of them. Bruce isn't like that. He's supportive of the police, but Bruce is pretty liberal. Like I mentioned about Bob Dylan, like Bruce is, there's a folk singer side to him. There's a people side to him. There's a liberal side to him. I always wonder, how do those two things kind of coalesce, where you got his fans, where some of them, not all, but some of them are conservative. And here's Bruce, where he's always pretty liberal in his music and his thoughts. Hell, I remember when he came to Cleveland, Barack Obama was campaigning back in 2008, and Bruce came to Cleveland and performed for Obama. So, it's shout out to Bruce. But Born in the U.S.A. is so misunderstood because a lot of politicians, especially conservatives, always try to hijack it like it's like a patriotic national anthem type song. It is a patriotic song, but it's patriotism of the ills of America. How, you come back from Vietnam, which is basically what it's about. How if you come back as a Vietnam soldier, you're not being taken care of by your government. How blue collar workers are not being taken care of by society. Like it's about the everyday man and woman trying to survive in a country where people feel like, well, just because I wear a flag lapel pin or have a flag on the back of my truck, that means America's great and there's no problems. And if you have a problem, that's on you. It's like, no, I need Bruce peel back the walls of our society and say, no, there's an ugliness part of our society. And he wrote it during the Nebraska sessions. And then it came out in 1984. So we had problems back in 1984, and we still got problems now. In fact, that song's even more important now than it was back in 1984. And again, same power in his voice, same grit. I don't know how he can pull these vocals off still, because that's, again, Born in the USA is almost 40 years ago. He's 76, and he's still born in the USA. Even I don't know how to sing it. It's hurting my vocals. Born. It's like, I don't know how he does that. Shout out to Jeremy Allen White, man, for actually singing like Bruce in the film, man. That can be hard to do. That had to be hard to do, man. So shout out to Bruce Springsteen. Shout out to Jeremy Allen White. These are my top 5 Bruce Springsteen songs. Again, very unconventional. I know this is not the list that most people put together, but it has an R&B tint to it. So what is your top 5 favorite Bruce Springsteen songs? And what, if you've seen the movie, tell me what you think about the movie. And what's it like being a Bruce Springsteen concert? A lot of people feel like it's like an original experience. And I've heard them in concerts like, and the man on the drums and the man on the keys and the big man over there on saxophone, Mr. Clarence Clemons. Bruce is the greatest, man. Shout out to Bruce. Bruce.